Hello and welcome back to the channel, How We Move the Decimal. In today's video, I will be photographing vintage film slides to list on eBay. In today's video, I'm going to talk about are thrift stores overpricing or are retailers or resellers entitled. I was on the subreddit about reselling and they were talking about how thrift stores are all overpriced and we can't afford them. Flipping wise, the margins are just too slim to do that. And when I was at the thrift store a couple days ago, just looking for myself personally, for my family personally, some of the prices I did find high for even personal use. A child's t-shirt does not need to be $6. Granted, this may be a steal of a deal depending where you are, but in a smaller town in the Midwest, that is pretty inflated. So there were things I still wasn't going to buy. I still thought were overpriced, even for personal use. However, when I did go to the thrift store just recently, I bought things there because it was a good deal for personal use, and I only ended up buying one thing to resell, and I bought a bunch of things for personal use. I was able to get dress shirts for my husband, some like soft jogging pants for my daughter, and a pair of pants for myself. And the prices were fine for personal use. I could not have resold any of these items for a profit that I bought for my own personal use, but they were cheaper than what they were on eBay, and they were cheaper than buying brand new at the store. So I guess it's a catch-22 in that, yeah, if it's for personal use, I'll spend that much money on it. If it's to resell, I won't spend that much money on it. But do we expect thrift stores to pick and choose and cater to resellers? I know the thrift store that I frequent a lot has they change the colors. So if it's new to the floor this week, the color may be white. But if it's new to the floor last week, then the color was red. And as the weeks go on, the colors go on sale. So if it was last week, it's 50% off. And if it was 2 weeks ago, so if they still have any red items, they'll be like anything red tag is 75% off. And then if it goes an entire month without selling, it's free. So they'd be like, all red tag items are free. I do not go on those days. I don't go on free days because people will just go through and pull all the red tag items. But it gets messy and it's really crowded, so I don't go. But as the red tags are going down, then the next week's stuff's going down. So when the red tags go down to 50%, so when they go down to 75%, now the white tags are 50%. And then when the white tags go to 75% and the red tags go to free, now the green tags are 50%. So at any point in time, there are 3 colors on sale, which is great. I will say most of the stuff I bought for personal use this time around were all 50 to 75% off. I don't think I bought anything full price. So yes and no. Now, if I was waiting to resell it, I still wouldn't have bought the stuff I bought because there was no resale value in the stuff I bought, but I would probably wait till 75% off day. But that gives you less items to choose from. Now, somebody was actually complaining at an auction recently that too many people are on there buying for their personal use. Like actually complaining about this, where you had to like stop and go, what did they just say? One of the people standing not too far away was like, hey, I hate it when all these people come for personal reuse. It really kills the resale game because they're willing to spend slightly more on it than a reseller because it's for their own personal use. Same with thrift stores. I'm going to spend slightly more on it because it's for my own personal use. And if I do end up reselling it, it'll be after I've already used it for a while. With that, I can take like the cost a little more. But the guy at the auction was actually really upset because he's like, people keep bidding this up and it's because they're not resellers. So they don't have to worry about, am I going to get this margin out of it? Am I going to get it a certain way? With that being said, it can be slightly difficult. I don't begrudge people for buying their personal stuff for personal use. I always buy for personal use when I'm out and about, but I have to be very leery of it too, so I don't become a hoarder. But yeah, I will look for personal use. A lot of times when I'm going thrifting, I will buy more for personal use than actually resell. With us going to the bin soon, we will buy more for resale than personal use, but I'm still looking for personal use while I'm there. And so is my husband. He's often yelling across the store, like, what size is, child number 1 in? What size is child number 2 in? I do not, and like a lot of retailers, I think we wear a lot of the rejects too. So things that we thought would be worth something that aren't worth something. Or, we find a small hole that I may patch up and wear myself, but I can't sell it with the patch on it. Or a stain, and I've done this with shirts. I will reverse tie-dye, so I'll use bleach to tie-dye dark shirts, or I'll tie-dye light shirts if they're stains, but I like the shirt. Or if it's a good quality shirt, I will do that. But it's lost its resale value. So we can't begrudge people to shop for themselves. I'm actively looking for things for my son's room at auctions and estate sales. I need a bookcase and a bedside table. So we're actively looking for that. I was actively looking for a full-length mirror before I just finally gave up and went to Target. And it hurt. It hurt what I paid for that. It hurt. But I got what I wanted. So I wanted a mirror that was a standalone. I didn't want something that I had to mount to the wall because I want to be able to move it around if I need to. That's why our other mirror got broke, because we were moving it around so much and it wasn't meant to be moved around. So I wanted something moved around. So I paid full price for it, unfortunately. With this though, we can't say resellers only, because if we say resellers only, the prices are also going to get jacked up. The amount of thrift stores I've been to recently, there's one particular in our town that is a crazy about it. There's another one that does it too, but print out eBay listings. Not the sold listings, just the listings. They even did it with their VHS tapes. It was ridiculous. It's like, we all know that you are not getting the prices for that. And we know they're not selling for that on eBay either. I have been very reluctant to price check on my phone recently, especially in smaller thrift stores. I don't mind doing it in like Goodwill or Salvation Army, but if it's like a small, locally run, locally owned thrift store, I don't like to do it as much. I don't want to be rude to them. I don't know if it's rude or not, but I don't want to be rude to them. So I have a general sense of prices. I don't tend to go too out of my comfort zone, especially in items like that. Or like, I guess I could do something sneaky and call my mom on the phone and be like, I'm going to send you a picture of something. Tell me if you like it, when I'm really looking it up on eBay. But I tend to be fairly safe when it comes to stuff like that. And I think it's going to restrict me buying now, especially with higher prices, if I don't know exactly what the item is, if I'm not familiar with that item, and with sales being really slow right now, it's really going to restrict me buying. One of the thrift stores I went to had, not only did they have the eBay printouts, they had new with tags Target stuff, but they were charging more than Target was on clearance. And I think I would almost rather go to Target, where I know they have a refund policy, than buy from the thrift store that I know doesn't have a refund policy. So that can be very difficult, and I was making a choice in doing that. But I also think we can't bully normal people out of the market. Like, oh my gosh, you can't buy this for yourself, because that would also bully me out. And I'm sure a lot of other resellers also buy for themselves while they're out. So that can be a bit of an issue. I will say a lot of stores are having like massive clearances right now, which might be another reason we're seeing a dip in our reselling online. You know, I went to Kohl's and was buying brand new stuff for $1 to $5 for my kids. I'm not necessarily going to have to go on eBay and look for this stuff when I can get it cheap locally. Maybe when all of these mass clearances stopped going on, maybe when we get closer to like April and the seasons have changed, especially in the retail community, maybe we'll see sales come back. But honestly, with the clearances going on at stores, I haven't even thought to look on eBay for things. I do know a lot of spring sports are starting. So we are going to have to, as myself personally, as a family, we're going to have to get cleats and sports equipment and stuff because children don't stay the same size from season to season, and it can become a little bit of an issue finding things that fit. It might cause problems later on down the road if they're, you know, a not good fit. You don't want like an injury or something from that. So I know I'm going to be out looking for that. I went to Ross recently to look for cleats for all three of my children, and somebody had filled their cart up with all of the cleats and were scanning them on eBay and then putting ones back they didn't want and then checking out the rest. But unfortunately, when they were putting them back, they weren't putting them back where they were supposed to go. They were just putting them on a shelf. And I don't want to like tell you what you can and can't do, but that was really inconvenient for me as a parent because I needed cleats for my child to play in sports, but this person had shoved them all in their cart and was going through them one at a time to see what they're worth. Even they weren't even just going through the style and brand, they were going through the sizes. Like how frequently does this size sell versus this size or whatever. I almost felt like I had to pay a finder's fee to be like, dude, can I just give you $5 right now to look in your cart for cleats for my kids? There's another place in town that it's played again. I don't know if that's franchised or not, but you can get used sporting equipment. So I have there to look too, but they get hit with the same people also going in there and buying used things to resell. So it can be quite difficult doing that. But I was shopping, thrifting before I was reselling. Anybody who grew up poor was thrifting and buying secondhand before they were reselling. So I can't begrudge people that are buying for themselves. I still buy for myself. I'm sure most of you guys still buy for yourselves out there. If I can get something used half price, then retail, especially for my children, that I swear to God, I look at my son and he's grown 3 inches when I blinked. The finding used stuff right now is insane. Finding good quality used stuff is insane. I've been leaving a lot of stuff behind, not because I have some moral high ground, but if I'm not getting a good enough margin on eBay, I could do it, but it's more work than I want to put forth, and maybe someone else needs it. Even if it's another reseller that comes behind me and buys it, maybe they need that money more than I need that. Maybe they are hungrier than I am for that. So if I know if it's just going to death pile on my floor, I leave it be. That could be individual personal growth. It could be not wanting a death pile, all of the above. Thank you for watching my video. Please stay and look at the digitals. Have a wonderful day.
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted, you've been gifted with the evil voodoo. Got me coming back for more, even when I've been screwed. Dolls full of pins, pierce my heart straight through. I got issues in my head, I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Oh, Everything is like a test. I better not text or I'll come off desperate.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, baby, you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed, thinking something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you